If you've got it, don't flaunt it. That's the conclusion of a new study. Joining us for this week's Smith Business Close-Up is Amna Kirmani, professor of marketing and director of the PhD program at the Robert H. Smith School of Business. Professor, thank you for being with us. We're focused on conspicuous brand usage. What is meant by that?
Well, what we mean by conspicuous brand usage is any flaunting or name dropping of the brand. So you're trying to get attention to the idea that you actually are using the brand, either own it or use it. So for instance, if you drive down the street and rev up the engine of your BMW, that's conspicuous brand usage. Or you hold up a Tiffany box so everybody can see that you got something from Tiffany's, that's conspicuous brand usage as well.
And, well, frankly, that's what sells all that stuff, right? I mean, it's the idea of everybody knowing that you've got the designer handbag or whatever.
That's true, and that's what we usually mean by conspicuous consumption, so keeping up with the Joneses. But what we're talking about is it's almost obnoxious behavior. You go over the top in terms of saying, hey, look, I own a BMW, I'm so great. And so that's not a good thing. That's flaunting in a way the marketer doesn't really want you to flaunt, because what happens when you do that is other people dislike you, and if they don't like you, they won't like the brand either.
Wow.
And so, yeah, and so, sometimes it creates envy, and that's the good part that you're talking about. But a lot of times, it just creates resentment.
So there's a narrow margin then. If you're the marketer, you're the luxury automobile maker, whatever the product is, you want it to be on a pedestal, but within limits?
Absolutely. You want people to envy the person who owns your brand so that other people want to have a BMW. But what you don't want people to say is, oh, that's a jerk, and therefore this brand is not something that I would want to be like. So what we find is the interesting part is not everybody has the same reaction. It's your most loyal customers or people who have a strong attachment to your brand. They don't care what others do with the brand. But the people who are less loyal and who are not as connected to the brand, they really don't like it when somebody shows off that brand. And because they don't like this behavior, they don't like the brand itself.
This is great stuff. I'm thinking that, BMW ought to check the driving records of people that they sell cars to. I specifically remember the last day or two being passed on the Beltway by somebody in a BMW zipping by, and first thought is, wow, it's a nice car. Second thought is, wow, that's a real jerk driving the car.
Yeah, it's an interesting that you mentioned BMW, because one of the things they do is they do have this high-performance driving school where they educate people about the proper driving procedures for a BMW. And that's part of how you get around your customers behaving in an obnoxious way with your brand, is you educate them. That not only tells them the right way, but it also makes them more attached to the brand.
Well, so the bottom line, the takeaway from this research, a company that might want to build one of these brands or protect one, what do you do?
Well, what you do is you make sure, first of all, that you have attached customers, people who are really connected to your brand, because those are your loyal customers or people who really like your brand, who don't care how other people behave with it. But in terms of your future and potential customers, you want to make sure that they have a positive view of the brand, and that means that your current customers need to be educated in proper behavior.
Very interesting. Professor Amna Kirmani joining us from the Smith School of Business. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.